Nancy Maldonado agreeing to stay on order requiring Chicago State University CSU to provide certain academic documents of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, Magistrate Judge Jeffrey Gilbert had 2 days ago ordered the CSU to submit the documents by the end of Thursday. But during an emergency hearing on Thursday, according to CBS News, Judge Maldonado gave attorneys on both sides an order to file additional arguments by next Thursday. Lawyers of the Nigerian president argue that Gilbert's decision needed to be reviewed by a district judge, and their request was granted by Maldonado, who said she would rule as quickly as possible after that. She said, "I will have a very busy weekend." You'll recall that Tinubu had filed an emergency motion asking the Chicago court to delay the release of his academic records till at least Monday, September 25th. The Chicago court had ordered the CSU to hand over all records relating to Tinubu's studentship to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar within 2 days. Atiku himself is insisting that Tinubu's claim of graduating from the Chicago State University is not authentic. He then filed an application which sought the documents to prove that the Nigerian leader was not eligible to vie for the presidential election when he did. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has stated that severe and irreparable harm will be done to him if Chicago University releases his records to the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar. In a fresh appeal filed at an upper U.S. court, Tinubu asked the judge to save him from suffering severe and irreparable damage by placing an emergency hold on a recent order for his university records to be released. According to the president, the damage he would suffer would be impossible to mitigate if the order directing the release of his academic record to Tinubu is not delayed for a possible vacation. Severe and irreparable harm will be done to Bola Tinubu if the records are not released. Tinubu's lawyer argued at an emergency appeal before Judge Nancy Maldonado of the United States District Court for the Northern District of Illinois in Chicago. Now, President Bola Tinubu's lawyer stated that if the records are released, harm will be done and cannot be taken back to the bottle. You do recall that Judge Jeffrey Gilbert of the United States District Court had on Tuesday, September 19, ordered Chicago State University to release Tinubu's records to Atiku as part of an ongoing election petition proceeding in Nigeria. The judge said the records must be turned over to Atiku, the 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, on September 21. Gilbert said that Tinubu weakened his education privacy rights when he submitted a contentious certificate to run for office in 2022. He also ordered that the opposition candidate's election petition, in which the records he sought would be used, far outweighed Tinubu's privacy interest because he himself exposed his records to public scrutiny by submitting a controversial diploma to INEC, knowing the political stakes of other contenders. Judge Gilbert also said the school administrators must submit themselves to certify all released records under oath. Now, I have joining me via the telephone a legal practitioner, a social commentator, that is a social affairs commentator, and that is Barrister Eze Eluche. Barrister Eze Eluche, good afternoon and welcome to the World News at 12 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM.
Thank you for having me in your studios.
Thank you so much, Barrister Eze Eluche. And again, we're back to the whole CSU debacle. Every day we keep having one situation or the other, one development or the other concerning his certificate. And it is quite worrisome when we see the updates that...
Did you know that you can make money from playing Ludo game? Yeah, Ludo.